Jack in the Box restaurant fast food chain is established in San Diego, California by Robert Peterson. The 22nd Amendment to the Constitution is ratified, which limits presidents to 2 terms, and MGM releases musical Showboat. The year is 1951, and this Packard 200 could be had down at your local Packard dealer. But before getting into all of it, I'm your host, Jay. Welcome to What It's Like, the automotive channel that shows you cars like you've never seen them before, history, specs, design. We post between 4 and 5 episodes each week with engine episodes sprinkled in. If any of that sounds of interest to you, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. Real quick, a couple announcements real fast. If you're watching this on Christmas Eve, Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas. We are trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the beginning of next year. So January 2025, I would love to see 50,000 subscribers on this channel. Also, we are doing another segment next year called Part of the Conversation, where it will be a live podcast style show. If you would love to be the subject of the conversation on Part of the Conversation, drop me a line at what_it's_like at yahoo.com if interested. The 1951 Packard model lineup was broken down into junior models and senior models. In the junior model category, you had the 200 and the 250. Senior models were the 300 and 400. Packard would offer the 200 for 2 years, 1951 and 1952. It was Packard's basement model, riding the shortest wheelbase, 122 inches. It replaced the Packard 8 series from 1950. It also replaced the Packard 120. The Packard 6 discontinued. The 200 would be renamed again in 1953 to Packard Clipper. Could be had as a 2-door coupe and a 4-door sedan. The 250 got the hardtop and the convertible body styles. I did forget one body style. You could get the business coupe for the last time in 1951 in the 200 series. So there was a redesign. Major redesign happened in 1951. So let's compare 51 on the bottom, 50 on top, starting in the front. Two totally different cars. There are a couple of similarities between these two. Both have single headlights. Both are made by Packard. Front fascias are completely different between these two. Headlights get relocated to a higher position and move outward on the 51. Single piece windshield on the 51 versus a split windshield on the 50. The 50 has a roof visor that the 51 doesn't have. Two very different profiles. The wheel openings on the 51 in the front, they are flared and curved versus more rolled and oval on the 50. Fender skirts cover half of the wheel on the 50 versus the 51 doesn't have fender skirts. Both have posts. Both roof profiles differ. The 50 has more of a fastback profile. The gas filler is in the same location between these two. Check out the rear bumper profile and how it wraps around on the 50 versus the bumper on the 51. Moving aft, windows are at different angles because of the different body designs. Trunk goes from anyone can access to key holder access on the 51. Taillights go from horizontal to vertical. The bumpers are different, but just look at the scaled down overrider bar on the 51. Jumping inside to take a quick gander at the dash and interior situation. Which one do you like better? Let's talk specs. 204.4 inches long, 77.9 inches wide, 62.7 inches tall. It rides a wheelbase of 122 inches. It weighs around 3,550 pounds. Price, $2,415, which would be equivalent to you spending $29,304.45 in the year 2024. Total 1951 Packard production was 100,713 units, of which total 200 was 71,362 units. Moving on to engine. Only one engine that powered this beast, 288 cubic inch displacement flathead inline 8. 4.7 liters. It was good for 135 horsepower, 3,600 RPM. It makes up to 230 pound-feet or 312 newton meters around 1800 RPM with a bore of 3.5 inches and a stroke of 3.8 inches, compression 7-to-1, 5 main bearings. When backed with a 3-speed manual transmission, 0 to 60 could be had in 14.6 seconds with a theoretical top speed of 91 miles per hour while achieving an average of 13.6 to 15 miles to the gallon. If you've been looking for a slightly customized Packard 200 with wire wheels from Krager and Plum Crazy, I got the perfect car for you. This car is currently for sale at Classic Auto Mall, Morgantown, Pennsylvania, where they have this car and 950 other cars currently on display for sale when recording this episode. Get this, anybody could go peruse their inventory, whether that be online or in person. For hours of operation, directions, and to get the full scoop on this very car, be sure to click the link below after the show.
Let's talk styling on this car. This has 2 bumperettes and or overriders in the center, but notice that they are just on the top of the bumper. They don't go through it. Also notice all of the detail in that bumperette. Turn signals and or running lights. Headlight bezels. This hood has a lot of different profiles, a lot of different layers and lines going on. How it's sculpted out here, how this Packard arched in block formation. Also notice the Packard crest right in the center. Bumpers wrap around to the wheel well. Doesn't have any trim on the wheel well itself, and it is flared. Wire wheels are Krager wire wheels, not stock. Just take a gander at this crease on the fender. It gets more pronounced and then it fades back in. Windshield wipers that oppose, notice that they are on little pedestals. This car does not have a cowl vent. Antenna right there, mounted to the fender. Check out that mirror placement. I'm not sure if that's stock. It doesn't really look stock. This car does have drip rails, which start here at the base of the windshield and run the cabin of the car. This car is pretty straight. No rocker molding. Does not have gravel guards either. The flare happens. Notice where the flare happens. It's not right at the opening. It's maybe 2.5 inches above it. Also, it's drastic here and then it tapers back into the body. Gas filler is on the driver's side. Huge mascot or hood ornament. Getting inside, but before we do, check out this door handle placement and design. It's right in line with the trim that comes across the base of the windows. This door is completely framed out, has a nice quality feel to it. This almost feels like a mohair material or a cloth, but it definitely feels almost like mohair, which is interesting. Down here, it's a vinyl material. Armrest as well as door handle to pull the door shut. Door handle to get out. Window crank for the big window. There is a vent window there. Coming down inside, the pedal box down here. You have the high beam switch on the floor, where it should be, in my opinion. Brake pedal, gas pedal. Just take a look at this interior. Here is what over the hood looks like. Here's what first person over the hood would look like. Up
On to the button switches and knobs. 3 pods sit directly in front of the driver. The first pod has the gasoline gauge at the top, coolant temperature at the bottom, oil pressure and amp meter warning lights in the center, 110 mile per hour speedometer in the center with odometer at the top, clock, key, headlights, windshield wipers, lighter, ashtray just below it, heat and ventilation controls, radio, drive modes read park, neutral, high, range, low range, and reverse.
above, there are sun visors. They're on the big side. There is a rear view mirror in center, but with both of the sun visors in place, you won't be able to see out of the rear view mirror that much. Cigarette lighter, ashtray just below it. Right here's the ashtray. On to the glove box test. Here is our test subject. Here's my hand for reference. Here is the glove box in question. Oh, it's a glove box drawer. How awesome is that? I always wondered. I was in a car, 50s car, early 50s car that had a pull-out drawer, and I was wondering what car that was. There's a new car that has a pull-out drawer. It's not a new feature. It's been around for a while. But man, just look at that. Oh man, that's awesome. Just to give you a better idea of the depth and size of this glove box drawer, it's absolutely huge. I have no doubt that the camera would fit in there. Okay, so I'm going to say that it's plausible because it will fit in the hole. I'm just afraid that I'm going to lose it in here, and I don't want to do that. But if I took it apart, I know for certain it would fit because it's a massive space. So getting in the rear, just fold the seat forward like this. It pivots out of the way, allowing that much access into the rear compartment. Unfortunately, this car is parked too close to the other car. I'm afraid that I'm going to get stuck back here, so I'm not going to get back there. But as far as creature comforts go, the windows are fixed. Surprisingly, it did. There's no window cranks on either side. No armrests in the center. There are armrests here. As far as creature comforts go, there is a light in the back. As far as creature comforts go, there's a light in the back, and that's about it. There aren't any coat hooks, and the windows don't go down.
Taking a real quick gander under the hood, 288 cubic inch displacement in line 8, nestled in the engine bay, 6-volt battery, heater motor is right off to the left hand side, downdraft carburetor. I just love how accessible everything is. On the positive side, it's a Packard. It's got a huge glove box drawer, which is a really great feature. Great over the hood view. Against it, ho-hum styling. All right, now it's time for Would You Rather. 2 scenarios today. In the first scenario, would you rather have a 1951 Cadillac Series 62 two-door coupe or 1951 Packard 200 two-door coupe or 1951 Lincoln two-door coupe? I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. On to the second scenario. 1951 Hudson Hornet two-door coupe or 1951 Packard 200 two-door coupe or 1951 Oldsmobile Super 88 two-door coupe. Once again, going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to get both the name of the band, song title, and The lyric that comes next, like I want the full sentence of what comes next, will have their comment pinned to the top of the comment section. Guilty conscience, I guess. No, I must confess. Just to reiterate, I need the name of the band, song title, and the lyric that comes next to have your comment pinned to the top of the comment section if you're the first one to do so. Thank you all so much for coming out and watching this on Christmas Day. Merry Christmas to all that celebrate Christmas. Also, did you guys do anything fun and exciting for Christmas? Put it in the comment section below. Until next time, toodaloo! If you've made it this far, you are now entering the after show. This part of the video doesn't have any sound and or commentary, but you can put whatever music you like to listen to in the background. See this car like you've never saw it before. Enjoy.